Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor. We're here with Alliance War Season 56, number 2, and AOH has matched up against MIBR. You may notice that this does not look like a screen recording, and that is because the first few fights, actually every single fight, but like a minute of my final fight, this war failed to record. I don't know why, but all of my alt account fights worked. So I have 8 fights on my alt this war, 6 on my main. 5 of the 6 failed to record. The way that the video loaded, it showed it as just the last fight recording, which means that my phone was just low on storage. Which is weird because I always delete every single extra video and photo on my phone, but for some reason it just didn't work. So I will explain the fights on my alt on my main, because they weren't the most complicated fights in the world. I was on Path 6, Section 1, and I had this Nick Fury, and it is on the Arrogance node, I believe it's called, where every 10th hit, you get a miss passive on yourself, and if you hit into the miss, your opponent gets a... I forget what it's called, but it's one of those passives where their special attacks cost half. I forget what it's called. But anyways, it was a really straightforward fight with Angela. I just block baited heavy attacks, pushed to special 2s, and I would wait out the unblockable after every time. It was a really straightforward fight. I think it was around like a minute 20, because I wasn't trying to rush it. And then we had Silver Surfer on the node where, on the Phantom Bleed node, where basically when I hit him, he is going to be inflicting me with debuffs, but I think they're exhaustion debuffs, so they lower my critical damage rating or something like that. It didn't end up mattering. The fight went down in around 40 seconds. Unfortunately, I could not get a screenshot of what my Section 2 fights were, but I will tell you what they were. This is the mini boss island. After I finished my fights on my alt, so this was before I got my main, but before I did my main, on my main, I was on Path 1, Section 2, and I fought Killmonger on the high energy diet node with Angela. Really straightforward fight, as there is currently a bug in the matchup of Angela versus Killmonger where if you chain your combo into a special attack, the defender instantly goes up to a special 3 because it triggers the power gain before shutting off the reverb, because it thinks you're doing a combo hit for some reason. But if you dash back and intercept with a special, or just like dex the hit and counter with a special, then they will not go to special 3. So that's what I did. The fight didn't take super long, and I don't honestly remember. I think I probably ended around 90% health, and then I went in versus Red Skull on the buffet node, and I did have Odin pre-fights, but obviously those get eaten at the start of the fight. It did take me a little bit to get my buffs up to the point where I could hit into auto block safely, like I had enough buffs, and where buffet would stop activating, but I did, and the fight ended up going down in around 2 minutes and 30 seconds because he is a very beefy boy, so I was only really dealing damage when I was critting, which is when I'm over a bar of power. So basically what I was doing the whole fight is I was getting to 1.9 bars, activating a special 1 when buffet wouldn't activate, and then that would give me an extra buff, and then I would get back to, I would cycle that over and over again, and that's how I was dealing damage. Also, these fights I at least have like a screenshot for. So Adam Warlock on Hazard Shift node 44 I did take with Angela. There's no unique interaction Angela versus this node, or Angela versus Adam. The fight went down in around 45 seconds, and in fact, you crit so hard that I was able to bypass the pod, because when the pod started activating, I just finished my combo into a striker, and the striker killed. So the pod never activated in that matchup. It was just a really, really nice example of how hard Angela hits. And then I did have one final fight, which I do have a recording for, and this is, like, I'm not joking, this is where the recording starts. I recorded all of my fights as I always do, but when your phone doesn't have enough storage, instead of failing to record, it will just clip off everything but the end. So this here is Node 49, Stunning Reflection, Polka Dot Power, Thanos with Chee'Ilth. And in this fight, I did accidentally eat a special one to the face because I'm stupid, and I walked in trying to force him to throw a special because he was being defensive. And then as I hit into his block, I mean, I had my grit, so he didn't go unstoppable, or at least I ignored the unstoppable, but he did throw a special into my face. And I also took a little bit of brute force damage, probably about 20% right at the start of the fight. So that's why I'm at 65%. But the strat for this fight is really easy. Polka Dot Power is going to give you a lot of power. So you basically just want to spam your special one and Dex L1 and counter it. This was never in any risk at all of death. I don't even remember if I used an inform boost here, but I bet I probably did. Obviously, there's going to be the protection that comes back every 25%, but with a champion that has DOT as high as this, you don't really need to worry too much about it. Also, in this matchup, it is very, very easy to heavy counter Thanos's heavy attack. So at the start of the fight, the way I started out was by heavy attacking his heavy attack 3 times in a row. And yeah, you can see my team here. It's Chee'Ilth, Angela, Odin. Angela had 5 fights, Chee'Ilth had 1. That's all for my main, and normally I would be pretty annoyed that my fights didn't record, but the real bulk of this video is in my alt account fights, so the faster we can get to that, the better. So, oh, also here's the proof I didn't die. We have to, as soon as we finish every fight, or all our fights, we have to report the matchups and the number of deaths. So I reported that I soloed all my fights. So there you go, if you wanted proof. And then the beast mode little emote on Discord is just officers and other members responding to it. And as soon as I send it, an officer will go post, or will go update my profile on AW Masters, which is how we track deaths and stuff like that. So yeah, there's the proof I didn't die, if you care about that, but there you go. And now let's get into the real good stuff. So this is going to be my alt account, where I have a fight with all hood fights, a war with all hood fights, and this is 8 hood fights. I have 2 synergies with me. This first fight, let me just pause while I explain the synergies, and then we will go on to the fights. The 2 synergies I have with me today are Mojo and Strife. So I'll explain Mojo first. Mojo synergy states that anytime I knock down the defender, I am going to gain 3 bullets back, which is just a way to sustain your bullets, because every heavy attack or special 2, you are going to get some bullets back, which is really, really nice. And you can kind of incorporate that into your fight style. So when you have Mojo on the team, you will basically never run out unless you're misplaying your fights. The reason I chose Mojo over someone like Mysterio or Mole Man, because all 3 of those have the same synergy, is that Mojo has a synergy with himself that grants all other team members 7% combat power rate. So I'd rather have that for Hood than the Mysterio synergy, which doesn't do anything besides give me extra bullets. And then the Strife synergy is really what is going to make this war video special, because it's not something you can often bring. But if you have a 3rd team slot and you just need synergies for Hood, then this is the synergy to go with. It gives Hood a flat plus 50% attack while invisible, and if you know the way Hood works, he's going to be invisible most of the fight. Also, the way that this invisibility interacts with the bullets and detonating them is that if you detonate them while you have invisibility up, every single hex that gets detonated benefits from the plus 50% attack, whether you inflicted it while you had invisibility up or not. So as long as you have invisibility up when you detonate it, you're going to get massively increased damage. So here we go. We have America Chavez on this node. There is going to be a neutralize on this node, but I'm definitely not concerned at all. I think at one point I'm going to accidentally block a special one while trying to activate my invisibility, but as you can see, it's not going to matter. So we're throwing on our normal boost here, and I think we're going to throw on a Mystic 12%, and then I'm actually going to change my mind last second and activate a Mystic 150. That Mystic 150 doesn't end up actually doing anything. Here I was kind of going back and forth in my head about using it, and I figured, you know what, I have such a big hood war that I might as well do it. So we are going to throw on the Mystic 150. In hindsight, it didn't do anything, and you're going to see that it like, I don't think it sped up a single fight by a single second, but we'll see. So we have this Chavez. We don't want to activate the placebo buffs on ourselves, so we are going to be alternating our combo. Of course, starting with a heavy attack, because you might as well get bullets back if you can. There's really no downside to doing that, especially because all you really need to do in this fight is get back up to a special 1. A special 2. I don't know why I said special 1, but yeah, here we are alternating our hits, and then here we have that up. We do have a tactic attacker, by the way. Hood is tactic, which means we are going to be able to benefit from the attack increase from countering the specials, because we seal the unstoppable for ourselves. And I think right after this L2 we're going to go for a heavy attack, and this Chavez is done. Boom. That was just a really fast nuke fight. Not the fastest fight, but we kind of started off slow. In a lot of hood fights, you want an SP1 boost. So, yeah. So now we have this Terrax on the encroaching root node. And the nice thing is that encroaching root is subject to ability accuracy reduction, which means that my Fate Seal is going to be able to fail it, or at least have a 65% chance to fail it. And I think the one time it can possibly activate in this fight, we are able to fail it, which is really nice. Here we're going to activate our invisibility, get up to our special 2, and start cycling L2s. That one only got me 1 power steal, which is why I'm at almost no power. But yeah, there you go. The one chance Root had to activate, it's not going to activate. And then here he's going to go defensive, so we're going to lose our invisibility. But I don't really mind going for L2s without the invisibility, especially when the defender's so close to dying. And yeah, that fight drops in 26 seconds for rank 3 7-star. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty fast. And now we'll go into probably the sketchiest matchup of this war for sure. This is going to be Attuma. Attuma with Hood doesn't really make a lot of sense until you consider that the node doesn't really matter because Hood stops it, and Attuma's damage back doesn't really matter when you nuke a champion, when you nuke a fight as fast as Hood does. So I wanted to start this fight off by baiting heavy and countering with a heavy before activating my invisibility, but he of course wanted to throw a full combo into my block before that could happen. Also, you may think that the Fate Seal would work on Attuma, but all ability accuracy reduction gets reversed. So I'm actually not doing that. And then here we eat an L2 because why not? Might as well have some fun. It's boring if we don't eat L2s. And then here I think we're going to kill with a heavy. So yeah, there you go. Absolutely perfect. Not absolutely perfect because I ate an L2 to the face, but I still ended the fight with 70%. And that's going to be the lowest amount of health I finish a fight with. So definitely happy with that. Here we have a Sersi. This is going to be the old node 42. So this has the protection knockdown, and then it also has the stun reflect, the one I open. Sersi on this node, very, very easy fight with Hood. Never a fight you need to be concerned about, and you will see just how fast we're going to nuke. So very heavy, remove the protection, and then we're going to do our 2 combos to get back to an L2. Here we get pretty good power steal RNG at the start of the fight, but basically the way that the protection lines up in this fight, you have to throw 3 L2s, even though at that amount of health I probably could have killed with 2 special 2s, but it's not really a big deal at all, and this heavy attack is just going to absolutely wipe her out. So another 26-second fight. Seems like we just love 26-second fights this war. And we're buying a full energy refill. I think I'm going to need to buy 1 more. Or no, I need 2 small energy refills to finish off the war. But yeah, that SP1 boost did last us for 3 fights, I believe. And now it's gone. So I'm just taking a look to see where I want to use my other boosts. And I think I'm planning on using a invulnerability boost for the Sentinel. Although, honestly, I'm not sure. I don't really remember. But yeah, this Gladiator, I was checking because I was pretty sure he had increased ability accuracy, which means I would not be able to prevent his unstoppable if he threw a special one. But the truth is, it just doesn't matter, and you're going to see. This node has Rich Get Richer, so whoever has more buffs is going to be gaining power. But as soon as the the vigilance goes away, we are actually going to be the ones with more buffs and the ones benefiting from that node. And here we go for heavy attack. Doesn't kill. I knew it wouldn't kill, but that's fine. And then here we go for an L2, and I'm pretty sure at this point, yeah, the fight is going to be over with that heavy attack. So we're doing a good job of managing our bullets. That fight was 27 seconds. Not quite 26, but we'll still take it. And for this being a rank 3 hood, killing rank 3 defenders, I'm pretty happy with how these fights are going. They're going really, really well. So let's go to this Nova now. This is going to be the same node I took Weapon X on last war on my main account, Mixmaster, and we are just going to try to play around this node with Hood the best that we can by just alternating our combos. There's nothing else really going on because we don't need to specifically parry in this matchup. I did, unfortunately, incorrectly do a heavy attack there, but it's okay. Now we're going to be able to go for our L2, and I believe we will have opportunity in our next fight to go for more heavy attacks. Also, something I should note, an interaction I did know, because Nova is a tactic defender and Hood is a tactic attacker, when he throws a special attack and I counter it, I'm going to steal his unblockable. Nova has, I think it's 70% resistance to damage while the opponent is unblockable, which is meant to counter champions like Corvus Glaive, or some others. Anyways, that unfortunately does interact with the bullets. So when we detonate our hexes, it is going to get reduced, as you can see there. That probably would have brought him to about 20% health if it was not resisted like that. And then here we go for another heavy attack just to get some bullets back. We are going to bait the L2, full dex it, because Nova has a really, really easy special to full dex. And yeah, this fight is going to be over right here. We're going to go for a heavy attack, and boom, that is done. So that fight was a little bit longer. Mixmaster maybe complicated a little bit, but as you can see, it was very safe and never at any risk of me dying. This fight's going to get interesting because we get really, really terrible hazard shift at the beginning of this fight before we're able to get to our special 2. Here I saw we have 30 seconds left on our SP1 boost, which means we will be able to get into this fight on time, but the game really wanted me to have to use potions before my next fight because I think I'm going to get like 80% hazard shift or something like that. So we start off with a heavy attack, which is 3 hits. We get it on 2 of the 3 hits. We do 3 hits, get it on 2 of the 3 hits. And I'm like, bro, this is just stupid. And then he's being defensive. We get our L2 off really late, and we don't get any power steals because we didn't have invisibility. There we get 2 power steals back to back. We go for a heavy attack just to give us back some bullets. But as long as I'm keeping up my invisibility and my fate seal and reducing hazard shift, then this fight's going to be fine because he's never going to be able to gain any buffs no matter what he does. Go for another heavy attack. I knew that wouldn't kill, but again, this was a fight where I was really trying to milk my bullets, make sure I had enough for my final fight, and this heavy attack does kill. So that fight went to plan. Probably took off an extra 10% of our health from the bad hazard shift RNG right at the start of the fight, but it's not really the biggest deal in the world, just because I still ended the fight pretty healthy, obviously. But now we're on to our final fight of the war, which is going to be a rank 3 Sentinel on node 47. Yeah, node 47. And this is basically like a slam dunk with Hood. The nodes here just don't do anything. Not a single one of them will activate in this war, or in this fight. Not one. Like, genuinely zero. This Hood counters this node so well that unless you place a defender Hood specifically cannot do, he turns all of the nodes off. It's just a duel. And yeah, we're going to start off the fight with a few heavy attacks. And here we dash back so he doesn't go unstoppable. He is gaining Fury, so it's not... Sorry, I said the nodes wouldn't activate. I meant they wouldn't do anything. So now that our first L2 is up, he can't gain Fury buffs. He can't gain Unstoppable buffs. This dude's dead. And you're going to see what happens. That's our second L2. We get a lot of power steals there, unfortunately, but we just go for our third L2. I think we're going to go for one more L2 before finishing the fight off. I think that, and I think we go for heavy tech here. Oh, one more. Excuse me. I said 4, I meant 5. And yeah. That is a 600,000 health Sentinel nuked in 45 seconds with Hood. Absolutely disgusting. And yeah, as you can see right here, this is the Thanos fight that I ended up taking with Chee'Ilth, but because the first minute and a bit didn't record, you didn't get to see this part. It was a rank 3 7-star. Not that that matters, because a rank 4 7-star wouldn't have been any different. Unfortunately, we did actually end up losing this war, which sucks, but... Oh yeah, and look at what I type in chat. Nerf Hood. I don't actually want Hood to be nerfed because I actually do think he is perfectly balanced, because obviously this gameplay would not have been quite as impressive without the Strife synergy. Every fight would have taken about 15 to 20 seconds longer. Well, not all fights. Like the 20-second fights would have taken 30 seconds, and the 45-second fights would have taken a minute or a minute 10, something like that. But yeah, we do end up losing this war, which is unfortunate, but I mean, that's okay. We won the first war. We did a really bad job this war. We had a lot more deaths than last war, I think. I honestly haven't checked, but I do know that we lost. And we are now 1-1 on the season. I still have 0 deaths total on both accounts. And my PSR is now... Oh, I didn't update my PSR, but I will in the description. It should be 27 out of 27. Yeah, here I didn't update it, but there I will. My main is at 12 fights out of 12 fights soloed or 100%. And my ult is at 15 out of 15 or 100%. Also, really cool announcement. For the second time ever in me playing competitive Alliance War and making videos, I have achieved a 100 fight Deathless streak. The 100th fight was actually on my main, because I did my alt fights first, and it was Red Skull. So Adam Warlock was 101, and Thanos was 102, so we are currently at a 102 fight Deathless streak, which is very cool because... Honestly, especially for the last year, I've been feeling like my performance in Alliance War has not been up to the standards that I previously held myself to. And it's just nice when you finally start playing well, you understand the metas, and you're actually doing something and not just dying every other war. So I'm definitely very happy. The last time I died was... mid last season, and I don't even remember when that was, but yeah. So we are now at 102. I forget what my longest deathless streak ever was. I remember when it was. It was in 2021, but I think it ended around 110 or like 120. I think it was under 120. It was around there. So ideally we'd like to break my personal record, but we'll see what happens. And I will see you all in the next war video. I'm really sorry that some of my fights didn't record today, but I did try to explain them as best as I could. There's unfortunately nothing I can do when that happens. I did reset my phone to see if that might help in the future, but that's all I can do. So thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.